If you've been thinking about transforming your yard with native plants, but you have no idea which design tools out there might actually be useful, I tried 6 more of them so you don't have to. From photorealistic designs to drag and drop planners to pre-made garden templates, I'll walk you through what works, what doesn't, and what these tools can truly offer you if you want to build a sustainable landscape. A couple of apps were better than I expected in some ways, but most of them fall short in one way or another. At the end, I'll give my high-level summary about my top picks and what's missing from these to make DIY sustainable landscape design easy for everyday gardeners. So let's get into it. Okay, so I just wanted to start really quick by showing this. This is a Reddit page from the Native Plant Gardening group, and someone posted a couple of years ago, what is the best native plant garden planning tool? And so apparently this is something that a lot of people have wondered about because a bunch of people commented on this, and it just kind of made me feel when I saw this like, oh, okay, I'm not the only one, and apparently a lot of other people have wondered about this because a lot of the existing tools just are not really designed for planning specifically a native plant yard. Okay, so this is the first one and probably my favorite out of all of them just because it does have the widest range of capabilities and the biggest plant database, it seems. So this one's called Garden Puzzle. I will say though, you have to pay for an annual membership or account to be able to access the majority of the useful features and the full bank of plant options, because if you use the free, basically demo version, there's just a really small bank of options. So I think it was $29 for a 1-year account, which is not too bad. You can upload a background image, meaning a custom photo. So up here you would do that. I'm not going to do it right now because it slows this down incredibly and my computer was just like freaking out. So I'm not going to do that for the sake of just demonstrating what you can do, but it is possible only if you have a paid account. The other thing that's nice here with this app is you can specify your soil conditions. And so you can just choose, and toggle here, and the zone down here you can specify. It's already preset to 6 for me, so I'm going to leave that. And then it has a range of features. So at the bottom are the filters. There's the kind of plant type, size, sun, color, and this is what's really cool. You can specify the season. So you can, and if you do that, it'll change the plant images, supposedly. I haven't really checked this out yet. But it will kind of change them to show what they're like in different seasons, and so that's pretty cool. The other thing is that it says it'll specify if a plant is not suited to your conditions, meaning like your zone and theoretically your soil and sun requirements, and so that's kind of neat. You'll see like an information bubble that will kind of indicate that. So I'm just going to search for a handful of plants. Oh, just to specify, they do also have different features like different architectural elements that you can lay on, different textures and ground covers, and then also some preset arrangements, which are neat if you want to just kind of visualize like, a bunch of, I'm not sure what that did. Okay, I had this problem before where just trying to drop something on, it just kind of gives me the spiral of death. So that might mean I can't really move forward now because it just gets frozen and really tired, but oh, there you go. So see how that's pretty neat if you want to just see quickly, like add some height and color in a certain area without having to add specific plant elements yourself. That is an option. So just going back to the plants, and I just wanted to search for some native plants, at least in our area, and see what kind of options they have. So yarrow, they have a couple yarrow varieties. What about blue grama? Nope, no blue grama. What about penstemon? Oops, spelled that wrong. Still spelled it wrong. Oh my God. Okay, my key, I think it's like a glitch with the software because it's not like registering all the letters that I'm typing, the S. So that's unfortunate, but I think it does have a couple, there's a couple like penstemon varieties. I'm sorry, this is just, the struggle that I've had with this app is it's like pretty glitchy, and then you can also download a desktop version, but I've had a bunch of issues with that too, like a bunch of issues. Just being super glitchy, it freezing all the time, it's not recognizing that I have a paid account and things like that, which are really annoying. Let me try another one. So milkweed. I'm really happy to see that it has milkweed in its bank of options because this is definitely a plant that, if you don't really care about native gardening, then that's not something probably that you would plant. because that's, you know, really just focused on supporting pollinators, which is awesome, but it's not a common landscaping element, I would say. So super happy to see that they do have that in their bank of options. What about honey locust? No, that's a native tree that we have a lot here, and unfortunately they don't have that. So kind of mixed, you know, they have some native plants, at least just checking some of the things for our area, but some they don't. So better than most though, I will say. Like, I'll just move on to the next one and show you how limited the options can be. This one's called Garden Savvy, although this one I really believe is much more catered towards planning either just very general landscape elements in terms of defining a space, or planning a vegetable garden. So, you know, they've got some elements here. This is just their demo video, but you can tell by the reviews too that this is just mostly, I think, for people trying to plan out like a garden, like a vegetable garden. This is another one called Gardena. I did use some of the elements just to start to sort of define the space that we have in the front of our house. But when you get to the plants, it's truly so limited. And so, I don't know, this can help you if you want to just see very rough, like placement of general shapes and sizes, but it doesn't really do much more than that. The next one is called Garden Planner. This one, again, very similar, just kind of limited and like basic shapes and sizes. It's top-down view, so it doesn't really help you get an understanding of what some of these things would look like in real life. And you know, I don't know, it just doesn't seem that special. It kind of has all the basic features that a lot of these other tools do. This is from Better Homes and Gardens, and what they do have in terms of design assistance is they have some kind of like preset recommended plans, and you can download them. And then when you go to one of those, so for example, that low water garden plan, it has the list of plants, which is pretty neat, but they're not you know, for all zones. So that obviously doesn't give you the ability to really tailor and customize something to your very specific conditions. So, you know, kind of nice, I guess, if you just wanted like a preset plan, but it doesn't give you all of the options. And then there's this one called Home Outside, which I will have to show you on the mobile view because I can't, like nothing on this web app really works. But there is an app that you can download. Okay, going back and correcting this. So I was very confused by this because their website is kind of a mess and it's things are kind of inconsistent, and I was not clear at first on whether this is like a web app, whether this is an iPhone app. Then I found this like other subpage on their website, which makes it sound like it's this really fancy 3D landscape designer. And so I was confused. And then I realized, so this is saying here that it's an AR, which is augmented reality design app made by landscape design experts. Sounds great. And then I saw this app is temporarily unavailable while we make improvements. So that's why I think the phone app for this is not actually functional right now. I think their intended functionality is this, which looks pretty cool. I'm not really sure how expansive the options are going to be, but there's all these different plants, and then it's augmented reality. So you would be pointing your camera at a certain space, and then you could kind of lay over that these different plants, and then they have different arrangements and kind of, I think, recommended, maybe pairings or compatible plants for different area, and you can choose what to put where. So sounds pretty cool, but not available yet. So maybe something to keep an eye out for in the future. Okay, so that's it for reviewing these different options. As I mentioned, my favorite one out of all of these is the Garden Puzzle app because it does have the biggest bank of plant options. I was super happy to see that it has a good number of native plants, not all of them, but I didn't really expect it to be able to have every single option available, but it definitely has more than any other app that I've seen. I do like the visualization options that you can upload your own custom image as the background. Although, like I said, I've had a lot of issues with the software being super glitchy enough that I haven't been able to complete like a single design just because it kind of freaks out and then starts stalling. So, and that was both with the desktop app and the online app. So aside from that, it does have the most options, but I do wish there were just more native plant choices. But I do like some of the features. So if there's any other apps that you know about that I didn't cover here that are specifically useful for trying to design a more sustainable landscape, yard full of native plants, then definitely let me know in the comments because I want to know everything that's out there and try it all. Or let me know if you have created some of your own kind of custom approaches to piecing this together that have worked well for you. I have used Canva to basically piece these things together myself, but it was really labor intensive and took a ton of upfront work. And I think I'm going to cover that in another video. So let me know if that'd be interesting, and I'll see you in the next one.